Okay, good morning, boys. Today we are going to study quotation marks and commas on page 108. Okay, again, for those who attend late, punctuation importance. Why do I use punctuation in my daily writing? I use them for to tell the reader when to start or to stop or to pause. You remember when I said that the comma is okay. Who opened his camera? I'm sorry, he's going to go out. And really, he's going to go out. Sorry, who opened his camera? Please go out. Okay, commas, quotation mark are two types of punctuation. I'm sorry, I was here. To start or stop? Yes, who raised his hand? Let's go ahead. Go on.
Sir, what makes punctuation importance?
Yeah, punctuation, those kind of rules that I use when in writing, like capitalization, like putting a period at the end of a sentence,
Ah,
like making
okay,
comma. Importance means it's important. Why it's important? Okay, go on,
okay.
Ismail.
Mister,
Mm,
your voice is low.
now my voice is clear. Just to try to raise the volume now on your mobile or on your gadget. Okay, who raised his hand again? Please, can you stop raising your hand? Yes, it's mine.
No, this from before.
Oh my God. Please don't raise for all of you. Don't raise your hand when I discussing topic. Again, I tell the readers here, guys, when to start or to stop or to pause. Do you remember when I told you that a comma is a kind of a slight pause between the words or the items or those kind of clauses that are combined together? Okay. So today we are going to study comma and quotation marks. Comma, what are their purposes and how do they work together? What is the comma? As I told you, while a period is a full stop. And this sentence, a comma indicates a smaller break. A smaller break means a slight pause. Some writers think of a comma as a soft pause, a punctuation mark that separate words, okay, clauses and idea within a sentence. So its real function is to separate what? Words, clauses, ideas within a sentence. Okay, let's look here. We use comma, okay, we use comma to separate a series of words like see, listen, and be silent. Look at here, those kind of verbs, I make a separation of them using comma. See, listen, and be silent, and you will live in peace. Oh, nice. So I make here four words. I have see, listen, be, and will live. I make a separation between them. To separate a series of phrases. Phrases is a kind of not complete clause. A group of words that doesn't have a meaning, a complete meaning. Okay, like in the garden. In the garden, it doesn't have a complete meaning. This is a phrase. I like reading books. Reading books. This is the first phrase. Listening to music. Okay, watching TV and studying English. Okay, those are kind of phrases. I make a separation between them using comma. So the first one to separate series of words, to separate a series of phrases, to connect two independent clauses. Do you remember, guys, when we have studied the compound sentence? The compound sentence is formed by two independent clauses, and it's joined by 10 points. Do you remember that, guys? Let me just remind you with compound sentence. In Russia or in Harry, compound sentence. It's a sentence that's combined by those kind of conjunctions. And boys. What are the fan boys? F for for, A for and, N for north, E for but, O for or, Y for yet, That's what I get. And S for so. Okay, we have studied three only. And up and so. Or I think or. We have studied three. Okay, so this is the compound sentence. Two simple sentences or two independent clauses are joined together using disconjunctions for and nor, but, or, yet, or so. Then they are joined together to form a complete sentence, which is compound. I use in order to make separation. I use comma to make separation. Okay, now I know that the questions will come. Place, yes.
Mister, how we can know when if we want to put the marks or on the sentence or what or no?
I don't understand. Can you say it again?
If we how do we know? How do we know if we can put the marks in the sentence or what
What kind of
or
marks?
not?
What kind of marks?
Like a full stop or comma.
Okay, it's basically we use them. Okay, it's
The
basically at the
question.
end for full stop. We use it at the end of each sentence. Okay, the comma we use it here. These are we are studying the rules to make a separation between series of words, to make a separation between series of phrases, to connect two independent clauses. That's what I'm explaining. Please wait and you can understand. Okay? Yes, well.
Yeah, Mister.
Mhm.
He said the question ice.
Okay, thank you. Let me continue. So it's an old car. It's an old car here, but it's very reliable. It's an old car, but it's very reliable. Please, if you raise your hand, please don't raise your hand. Yes, Ismail. What's your question? Go on, Ismail.
Mister,
Mm.
what is this F? It means um, for, and S means so.
Yeah, this is an abbreviation to sum up most of the first word of the connecting or conjunctions that are used in compound sentences. Forget about them. Just keep attention that we use to connect two independent clauses. I use comma here. Okay? I use comma. That's what
Okay.
I mean. Okay. After certain words that introduce a sentence, like well, like yes, like no, I put a comma after that. To introduce um, quoted adjectives. I wear sunglasses on my bright sunny days. Between items, date, and address. Here in the date, May the 1st, and then I make a comma, and then I wrote 2010. And here between also Kubar, Saudi Arabia, and so on. Okay. Between the city and the that and the country. Quotation markers. Who has any question? Yeah, Jamal. What's your question?
No, my hand only raised by accident.
By accident? If you yes, it's mine. What's your question? Okay. Imagine I think you raise your hand. Imagine.
Mister, this from before.
Master, I'm not raising my hand.
Okay, anyways, let me continue. The quotation marks. Those kind of quotation marks, you know them. Okay, let me show it to you. Okay, you will see them. Rules for quotation marks. What's Fred? Why do you raise your hand, man? Okay.
Mister,
Hmm.
what means uh, this
Quotations mark.
yeah.
Quotations mark, I'm going to show you. This is the quotation marks first. Like this. Like this. For example, Fuad said,
فؤود
Fuad
سعدي فؤود said
Fuad said, I
فؤاد said I
I
like
like sports.
sports.
Look at this. This is the quotation marks.
Yeah, okay.
These are the quotation marks. Okay. Now this is the
Thank
quotation
you.
mark. They have rules. They have also rules. Okay. So what are the kind of quotation mark rules? Rules of quotation marks. If you are quoting a complete sentence, you should start quote with a capital letter. You have to start the quotation marks within what is within the quotation mark with a capital letter. The exact phrase she used was, look at here, this is the quotation mark I started with. The here is, it's capitalized. Here, T is capitalized. Quotation marks rules. Okay. Make sure to use comma to separate the quoted material from the rest of the sentence. Look at here. The ticket clerk said. After said, you make comma and then quotation mark. When you are informing something, okay, you have to put a comma and then the quotation mark. Okay. I hope it's clear. This is a kind of sentence here. The ticket clerk said, we have no seats available. Okay, so I make a quotation mark, I make a comma, then the quotation mark. I started my sentence using a capital letter. Using what? Okay, so this is everything. This is everything about quotation marks and comma rules. Who has any question? Who has any question? Please raise your hand. What do you think? Who has any question? Anyways, you have a homework here on page 109. 109. Look at here. You can answer it, page 109, and take a copy, okay, and send it back to WhatsApp. If you have any question, please raise your hand. If you don't, I'm going to end the meeting or discuss. Who has a question? What does it mean? So everything is okay. If everything is okay by you, please just raise your hand. You have a question, Ismail? Yes. What's your question, man?
No, you say.
Fuad, what's your question?
Nothing.
You boys, see you tomorrow.